Okay, we are good to go.
Oh my God.
We are live.
Someone can start. Not me.
Do you want to start since you
I
said
started
it?
last time, so go ahead, somebody else.
Heather?
No one else is like, I don't want to start. Okay, I'll start. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to start with chapter 8.
Okay.
Something that I thought interesting was about the chapter was the Pygmalion effect, and I think that that's a pretty standard thing that happens, especially as a supervisor. You know, I like to make sure personally that I give my expectations to the people that I'm working with so that they know what to do throughout the day. I mean, otherwise, you know, everybody's just kind of running around doing their own thing, and there's no cohesive work going on. So for me, I think that Pygmalion theory or effect, Pygmalion effect, is something that is used pretty often. And I think it's just used to, you know, make sure things are running smoothly and that expectations are met and people understand what's going on. I didn't know that that was actually like some Greek prince or god, some Greek prince. This was the Pygmalion, and that's why it was named after him, because he fell in love with. Yeah, he fell in love with this concrete statue of this woman, this goddess, and the story goes that the gods brought her to life for him, and that's how they came up with the term Pygmalion. So something that his expectations were that, you know, she would be alive, and then they happened. So how that works. And then chapter 6 for me, I was looking at the argumentative competence, and I thought that was really interesting that they feel like when people are in small groups, if they argue, it's better than not arguing. Instead of being counterproductive, it actually creates better solutions. When people are in small groups and they argue amongst, you know, argue respectively. Obviously, you know, you don't want to be rude and go after somebody's throat and be really crazy. But yeah, they feel like arguing about ideas in general, gives you a better result at the end. And I would say that that's probably a really interesting factor because, you know, when you argue with someone in your personal life, usually you're not being as productive. So I wonder if we take that productivity from the arguing in small groups in business and put it into our personal lives, if we would have a more cohesive personal life. Just thought that would be
I'm one that does not like to avoid conflict, and I learned that confronting something is way better than trying to avoid it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that, you know, how sometimes when you're arguing your personal life, you get a little more heated. Whereas I think when you're in business, you really kind of stick to the subject matter more, you know, so
True.
Wouldn't it be better if in our personal lives, if we could do that as well, you know, stick to the subject matter more, we might get more resolved with less anguish.
I don't know, at work at least I still have a
I'll go next if you guys like.
conflict. Am I really loud? I'm sorry.
No,
No, you're fine.
What were you saying?
Is it me or are you breaking up? Is it just me?
No. Did you guys read the prompt that we were supposed to talk about?
Yeah, that's what I was a little confused on too.
Discuss your thoughts on organizational culture.
Mm-hmm. What type of
types of culture?
Okay.
So the organizational culture for chapter 8 we're talking about, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, so for me, and so I was talking about the Pygmalion effect and how that as far as in organizational culture goes, that's, you know, that's
multitasking.
No worries, that's okay, I understand.
I guess I'll go next. For me, what stood out was the language and technology. Sorry, my dog needs attention too. The language and technology within a company and an organizational environment. I know at my company they use a lot of different technology terms and stuff, and I had to adapt to that. The culture there is very positive and engaging. So that part I like too. They treat all the employees as one, not just individual people. And when I started there, I had to learn their lingo in a while, or technology lingo. So, but I've caught on now.
That could not have been easy.
No, and not to be judgmental or anything, but I work with a lot of people with an Indian background, so it was hard to understand, like, oh, ping me and this technology term and this and that. So, but I got used to it. It's good. And my boss is a very good leader in making sure everyone feels positive.
That's nice. That's good. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my thoughts on organizational culture are that I like, well, it was talking about high and low context cultures. And you guys probably already know what that's all about, but high context cultures are cultures that like to build relationships with each other. They usually mix personal life. It's normal for them. Places
Yeah,
like
you are cutting in
Japan,
and out.
China, they're the ones who are most.
Oh,
Did we lose Cheyenne?
Diane. What a terrible time for that to happen.
But yeah, task oriented, and I'm like that as well. Like I'm more interested in being task oriented than trying to learn about somebody, trying to connect to them. And then that's just how our culture is in America. Like that's just how most of us were raised. Society influences us to be a part of cultural or low context culture. So I feel like leaders are definitely able to shape. So basically, I'd say
You're breaking up.
Yeah.
With all our faces, we're like,
We're all trying to listen so intently. We're like trying to get what she's saying. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then like if you had the Asian leader asking you about your life, and but they're all normal for them to be interested in you, you know. So I feel like the leader definitely can shape organization. Chapter 10. Oh wait, which one did I?
Chapter 8,
I
chapter
talked about chapter 10 already, so I was supposed to talk about chapter 6. On chapter 6, they were talking about, well, one thing that I liked was the leader as the negotiator, because I took a course in negotiation. I got a little certificate saying that I'm like a certified negotiator. So I really like that quality, being able to persuade somebody basically into what you want them to do, but you make them think that you guys both want. So as far as negotiation as a culture, I mean, I don't really know if that goes into the category of organizational culture, but I know it has a lot to do with like engaging in place, because you definitely gotta positively or negatively to get what you want out of that person. That makes sense. Does that make sense, guys?
yeah, it makes sense.
It does. I got more of that than the last piece, so yes.
Yeah.
I think you got a bad connection, huh?
Yeah.
No worries.
It's okay. We're trying to
Just
piece it
going
together.
in and out from
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll go next. What I thought of in chapter 8, or what struck me the most in organization or in the leadership as a culture. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Elements of organizational culture. There we go. The one that came out to me, or the one that struck most to me, was on values, and how that can really influence the rest of the group or whatever company that you work for. I think for me, it's always important to work or be in an environment where you can really lead and understand our values, and that there are things that they hold as something of quality or care for the people that they serve.
Okay.
And in any way or any company that you work for, it's selling good or service. And if there aren't any values to that, it's just, hey, we're here to make money the quickest way we can. I don't really have a lot of motivation to work there. And viewing things like the values that my company holds, or any company that I've really worked for, I've strived to kind of find out what it is that they really hold as anything. I mean, using things like different stories or different descriptions of how they were able to implement certain values that they hold as a standard within the company has been something that I just run with. Whether or not other people do, and that's up to them. But it's always something that I've seen as a strong core value that I really look for. So whenever I go into an interview to a company, that's normally the part where I'm asking questions of, what's your guys' ultimate goal with the company? What do you guys hold as values with your employees and your leaders as well? So that was the main thing. I mean, some of the stuff in Chapter 6 I thought was interesting, but just for sake of time, I'm going to pass it off to Stephanie here.
All right. So I guess mine's answers are going to be a little bit different than most of yours because I didn't really relate it to the chapters, but I don't know, when I read the prompt, I kind of thought of it a little bit differently. As far as what type of cultures I've experienced in the workplace, I mean, they've listed positive, negative. I think at one point or another, I've experienced all of that in my workplace, especially recently. And I definitely do believe that leaders are able to shape culture. Like, I just had a shift meeting with, because I'm going to be a shift, and we were talking, and my manager was talking about how she always tries to stay positive, and because how you act really influences how the baristas are going to behave during work, and that's absolutely accurate. Unfortunately, I don't think she's quite as positive as she thinks she is, because when she's upset, you can see it. You can absolutely see it, and people tend to just mirror exactly what the manager is feeling, and it kind of can, and that can really just shape how your day is going to go. You can either, smile and be happy regardless whatever's going to happen, or you can stomp around and be upset, and that's just how everyone else is going to act, and you're all going to have a bad day. So
I agree with you. You could shape culture that way. Definitely be positive and upbeat and stuff with your employees.
And I know, especially for a manager, that can be incredibly hard. You've got so much, a leader in general, you've got so much riding on your shoulders, and it's like, you're the one that's got the pressure on you. So trying to remain upbeat and positive for those who work under you is probably the most challenging thing you can possibly have.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we are at the time right now. So
Okay.
Okay.
in the broadcast right